Good morning and a very warm welcome to the Tuesday Reflections from Dalgety Parish Church. Today is Tuesday the 22nd of February, and in which you can say one way or another today. It's the same date, the 22nd of the 2nd, 2022 even. Tuesday, as it has been named. So enjoy the uniqueness of this day. But today is also Thinking Day, a day in which those who are part of the scouting or girl guiding movements and associations pause and think and remember their fellow guides and scouts around the world. So whether you've been or have been or currently involved in scouting or guides or brownies or cubs, rainbows, beavers and so on, they perhaps have gone to school wearing their uniform today, proud to be part of an international family. And they're asked to simply think about the organisation and all those who might be attached from around the world. Of course, some of you might know that this date was picked as it was the birthday of both Lord and Lady Baden-Powell. Do you know, I was a member of these associations and organisations growing up, from brownies to guides, a young leader, and I returned much later on as a leader for not very long, but a few years. But my day as a guide, I remember the best. As a guide, I remember the songs that were sung, and I still have them playing around in my head some days. The songs were silly and good fun, and sung together, sometimes in church halls and sometimes around campfires on camp. Singing together is really good for the soul. And one of these songs that I remember very well is actually about Thinking Day. And I'm not going to sing it for you today, you'll be all very pleased. But it contains the countries all around the world. For instance, it says in Canada it's Thinking Day, or in Scotland, or in Mexico it's Thinking Day. All over the world it's Thinking Day, and the song goes on. A reminder that guiding and scouting is all over the world, that an organisation that was set up to improve the chances of the lives of young people, whilst giving them purposeful activity and developing long life skills. Of course, there are many other youth organisations that also develop and invest in our young people, whose often chances for those who develop new skills, as well as to go on with others that they might not see from one week to a next. I am very grateful to the organisations like Guiding and Scouting, Girls Brigade and other youth organisations that I was a part of. But I am also very grateful for those who gave up their time to support us when we were younger. Those adults who simply gave up their weekly evenings to teach us about life, who gave us something to escape from to a different world, a world in which perhaps values mattered, a world in which learning skills such as putting up tents and cooking on open fire, learning to trust, to build trust through silly games, and developing safe relationships with leaders and with each other, but ultimately giving us opportunities in which I personally wouldn't have had, and I'm sure many others would be in the same position. But one of the things I really value to this day is the friendships that I made. I was selected to go to an international camp, and I met fellow guides from all over Sweden and Canada and America, and we swapped badges and addresses. But in all of that international friendships, I met a girl from just outside Dundee, and one in which I am still in contact with today. What is lovely is that we don't see each other very often because she now lives somewhere in Scotland that I find really hard to get to. But when we do meet up, and we do try to meet up at least once a year, all our children are of similar ages. So when we get together, everyone has someone to speak to relate to. And one of the young people in my house is now very good friends with one of the young people in her house, and they swap messages together, and it really is lovely to watch. I really value that friendship. With over 25 years of friendship that we both shared because we went to a guide camp. I couldn't quite put my hand on my old leaders tab today. That's been a bit of a story in this house this week, not quite being able to find what I was looking for. But I did find this badge. This is a badge that I was given as I left the Brownie unit that I was a leader in. And I'm sure this badge actually is just a friend of guiding badge. I don't think it's anything else in particular. But what it reminds me of is the fact that I am, although no longer an active member of the guiding family, that there would always be a return for me and a welcome if I wanted to. Because welcomes are so important. Knowing that there is a space and a place for you is something not to be taken lightly. And this badge really does remind me that there is a space and place if I ever wanted to return. So if you really need to hear that today, that a space and a place, then Dalgety Parish Church has a space and a place for you. A place where conversations can be had and kettles can be put on. Because sharing of life is important. I am sure there are so many stories like ours, but I wonder today what you will be thinking of. And you don't need to have been affiliated to any scouting or guiding movement to think and pray for those around our world. Those in which perhaps need our thoughts and prayers, or those in areas in which peace is not a given. Where war or civil rest is perhaps already happening, or a very imminent threat. And I will be especially thinking and praying for the people of Russia and Ukraine today, for those troops that are on the ground, and for those who are normal citizens, everyday people, wondering what is happening in their country. But I leave you with a poem today, and perhaps it is a prayer for some or a poem for others. Perhaps it is to simply to dwell on the words and wonder what they mean for you. And this is Thinking Day. Maybe it is a time to think for all those who need to see God at work, or feel the presence of God who is filled with hope and love, a God who wants us to experience joy and peace, but also wants to share that with others. For the experience of love and hope, joy and peace really is for all. So listen to the words of this poem and maybe think today what they mean for you. If we could only love more, then perhaps we could gain more. But what is there to gain if peace is not the goal? What is there to gain if love is not at the source? Perhaps we need to see more, the seeing of a world that is made by a God. Not an abstract God that sits in a cloud, but a God who lives at the heart of all. A God who dwells within us and around us. If only we could see. Perhaps we do. If we do, then why do others not? For it is the seeing of God's kingdom where love is sought. Have a great day, folks. I hope the weather stays. It's certainly nice out there just now, a little bit cold, but blue skies and sunshine. Enjoy whatever today brings. And I hope you have a chance to think or pray for those who come to mind, and perhaps also to give thanks for those who have helped you on your journey through life in whatever way that has been. Bye for now. Take care.